Still haven't fixed my freaking chair. Don't know when I'm ever going to do it. Probably do it soon. Hi, good morning. Welcome to Jenn Jiggles. Today's January 2nd, 2020. New decade. Yes. New rock and roll decade. I just don't know what to say sometimes, so I say nonsensical shit. How are you? Are you okay? Did you survive the holidays? There was no surviving here. It was just good. It was just very, very, very good. I have recorded this thing 3 times now because I mucked up and my machine stopped and blah, 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 you know. Yeah. So, where do I start? I forgot to weigh myself this morning, and that is the God's honest truth. There was a bit of a rush because Ian's going back to work one day this week, and today's the day, and we've been sleeping until 8:30, and when we woke up this morning, we actually set the alarm, but it's so bad that I never even heard it go off. He did, and he was up. And so then there was this kind of big rush around, and I had to run downstairs and make breakfast, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm so tired. I made a cup of coffee and drank a cup of coffee, and I like to weigh myself before I drink coffee in the morning, and after I weigh myself, and then I have coffee, if that makes sense. And I didn't, so I wasn't going back, but on January 27th, or December 27th, I weighed myself and I'd lost 0.2 pounds. But after that, I was kind of very naughty with what I ate, so I'm pretty sure I gained weight, but we'll find out on Monday, won't we? Yeah, so there you go. So it was a good holiday. We got a lot of things done around the house, good many things. I'll show you one of the things I got done. We weren't able to take Blossom out a lot. She had a boo-boo on her pad on her foot, and I kept putting Germaline on it, but it took a really long time to heal. And then by that time it started to rain here in Lancashire, and it pretty much rained the whole time Ian was off. I think we had 2 days of sun, and on those days we had to go to his parents' house, and we had to go somewhere else, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, B&Q. B&Q. B&Q is Lowe's if you're American. So yeah, so hello to Kim, and hello to Helen and Shannon, and I can't think who else right now. Hello, you guys. We're okay. I'm okay. Anyway, so we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure I gained weight. So if I come back and say I haven't lost any weight, it's because I just lost back what I gained, because now I'm trying to get back into my regular regime, which isn't very easy when Ian's around because he's a snacker. So, and that doesn't mean I have to snack. I understand this, but yeah, it doesn't make it easy. Anyway, so what is new? I don't particularly have a New Year's resolution. What I am going to talk about for a few minutes is Helen Duffin and Sprite 966 most recent podcast, and she really made me think. And Helen, if you're watching, I am exactly like you. That happens to me a lot. And what Helen spoke about, for everybody who didn't watch Helen's podcast, is things are rolling along and, you know, all very good, and then all of a sudden something happens, or something changes, or something slows down, and then you kind of get in a funk, and, you know, it's sort of depression and stuff, and that happens to me a lot. And so I went away and I thought about what you said, and what I came up with, because I Googled it, was I had this sort of epiphany about how I tried to make my husband's life happier, and my kids' lives happier, and, you know, my people around me happier. And, you know, if you're in my physical world, then I try to do everything I can to make sure you're happy, and in that I lose myself. So, and this might sound selfish to you, not you, Helen, but one who might be watching this, but oh well. Anyway, what I am determined to do this year is to sort of disconnect myself from that and not sweat the small stuff, and try to do things that make myself, me, and my world happy. So, for example, there are days in the week, nights, evenings in the week when Ian comes home and we have dinner. And then there's football on. Liverpool might be playing, or Blackburn Rovers. Those are the two teams he seems to gravitate towards. Yeah, so in case you're interested, I am a fan of Motherwell. Sorry, Helen, I think you're a Rangers fan. And I am also a fan of Derby County here in England. Motherwell's in Scotland. And I'm also, don't shoot me, but a Chelsea fan. And so, anyway, I'm not particularly interested in watching football if it's not a team that I'm not particularly in support of. And Ian likes to watch football, and I don't like it. But I sit down in the lounge and I watch television that I don't want to watch because I don't want him to think that I don't care about what he's interested in. And so I thought, I'm not doing that anymore, because there are so many nights when I'm doing that I don't feel like particularly like knitting. I want to sew and stuff, but I won't come up here to the sewing room because, you know, again, I don't want him to think that I'm not interested. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to come upstairs and he can watch football and I can do sewing, and we don't need to be on top of one another, and I'm not responsible for his happiness. So there you go. He's responsible for his. And the kids, you know, I'll do what I can for them. If they come to me and want advice or want chit chat or whatever, that's fine. But I can't fix everything, and they're all grown up. So I'm going to stop trying to help. And I don't interfere at all. I mean, I don't call and say, you know, God, why'd you do that? Or, you know, what's going on in your life and what's, you know, da da da. It's usually they do come to me if they need help or just want to talk. But I do find that I give unsolicited advice, and I'm not going to do that anymore. It's not one of my better qualities, actually. So, anyway, like what happened this weekend, I basically said, do you want some unsolicited advice to my son? And he said, yes, of course. So, if I say, do you want unsolicited advice? And he says, no, I'll go, yeah, okay, I'm shutting up. But yeah, and I'm not going to sweat little things. Because I find that there's a lot of things that annoy me in my personal life. And I mean silly, daft shit. Like last night, I went into the bathroom up here, and there was, Ian had just been in there, and he had used the last of the TP and didn't replace the roll. And the roll is right in a container below the rolly thing. So it's like right there. Like it's 6 inches away. All he's got to do is lift it out and slide it on. And that sounds bad, because this is the kind of stuff that I'm trying to let go. And so because I can't automatically say, just stop it, because it does eat away at me, and that's why I'm great, probably. I walked into our bedroom and very kindly and calmly said, if in future, could you please, if you use the end of the toilet paper, replace it. Now he said to me, oh, I didn't realize I did. Well, yeah, you did, because there's actually no more toilet paper on the roll, and you know you did. So in the future, I'm just going to change toilet roll, because it's fucking stupid to even be annoyed by it. It's daft, really. Those are just silly little things. So I am going to disconnect myself from things, and I am just going to be polite and kind, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully I'll be a happier person. In that, though, I am going to be polite and kind to myself and stop saying, sorry, I had to look at how much time I've used. I'm going to stop saying to myself, God, you're fat, so, in the mirror every morning. I'm going to stop being negative when Ian gives me compliments about me, like when he says you're pretty, and I go, yeah, all right, whatever. I'm going to stop doing that. I will acknowledge it. I'm not going to agree with it, because I don't particularly think I am, but I'm going to stop talking myself down to myself all the time. So that's going to be, hopefully, I'm going to have to work at that. It's going to be really hard, because when you've been one way all your life, changing is not easy. So old dog, new tricks kind of thing. Anyway, so that is that. Helen, I am on Messenger, as you know, because we're on Messenger together. If you ever want to talk, don't be scared to call me. I either have my phone by me or my iPad by me all the time, and if I don't answer, I will call you back. So if you just want to chit-chat or say hello or just say, oh, call me, Jiggles. I'm right here. I am here. I'm here. And frankly, I'm not good at emailing, as Kim will attest to, so it's better if you do call me or send me an IM. Anyway, so I just want to get on with things very quickly because, like I said, I've spent a shitload of time doing this morning, and I have not gotten anywhere with it. It's just been bad. So I'm not going to show you this side of the room, basically because it's a tip again because of all of the construction that's gone on, which I will show you in a minute. So before we get into that, I'm going to show you, first I'll show you Christmas gifts, I guess, and then I will show you what I worked on over the Christmas holidays. So I got a gift certificate from Plush Addict, which is a fabric store here in the United Kingdom, online, and in the stops, and this is, okay, I did this again. This is called Under the Stars by Sarah Knight, and it's Dashwood Studios fabric. And I'm going to be making a top out of this. It is a sort of burnt orange, but I'm going to make one of those sort of cowboy shirts with it. You know, the ones that have the pockets with the like pearlized buttons here and things. And I have a pattern already. I got it with my sewing magazine for free, so I'm going to be using that to make that, and I'll show you, you'll probably see the pattern on Cider House Crafts on the 16th. This, also burnt orange, these two fabrics were the end of it, so they, you know, on Plush Addict they'll say there's only 4 meters left or whatever, so I bought all the fabric that they had for these two things. And this is going to be a jumper for myself for the autumn. I actually thought about making myself a bathrobe out of this, but I don't think there's enough. But I love it. It's flannel and it's very soft and I love it. And it's very autumnal, so I can wear that from September. The other thing that I got for Christmas, well, I got more stuff than that for Christmas, but this is what I got right handy. I got my first Funko Pop. I've never had a Funko Pop. I love them. I think they're cute. Ian knows that I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, particularly Severus, who is the bravest person in that whole wizarding world, because I couldn't have done what he did. That was very brave. And this is from the Yule Ball. This was his outfit from the Yule Ball, and they have all of the characters from the Yule Ball, so I'm going to collect them all. So yeah, that's not all of the characters on the back of the box. There are others, Hermione and Harry and Ron. They're all there too. Another thing I bought myself, but Ian gave to me, if you know what I mean, is this. It's called December Frosts. It's by Jennifer Sarah, goofy girl. It's by Giddy Yarns. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, that screams Elsa. I love Elsa. I do. So yeah. So I got that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. That's not all I got. I got an IPL system, which is that laser hair removal thing. So I never have to shave my legs again. I can't wait to start using that. It seems very, I read the book, it's like, holy shit, I'm going to be radiated. I don't really care. Anyway, so I think that's all I wanted to show you that I got for Christmas. There was, you know, it's just whatever, you know. Oh, shoot. 1 second. I think I found it. I did. I found the pattern. Me. Go me. This is the pattern for that shirt. Right there. I knew I was going to use some other fabric with it, but I'm going to use that. So there we go. That's the shirt. I shall put that together. Right. So what did I get done crafting wise over Christmas? I'll save that for last, because that's a new one. I'm trying to hurry, because the last one of these I did was 40 minutes long, and then I found out that my machine shut off, so trying to keep track. So I finished, yes, I have worn this, so it's all stretched, and I didn't wash it before I wore it, but I finished the first Ellie socks. This is Ellie from Craft House Magic, her wool, Jingle Bell Rock. Oh, come on, Jennifer Sarah. That's her logo, Craft House Magic. That's the information. Okay, so I have cast on for the next one. And what I'm doing with these is I have my stitch counter, my clover, oops, now it's got one on it. My stitch counter, and that said 10 before. Because basically what I'm doing is I am, that's not good. I'm knitting 5 rows each morning on that sock, and, oops, come on. And Sprite 966, Helen Duffin, bless her, I finished her sock. Now, I wore this sock, okay? Because I wore that sock and this sock on Christmas Day. This has not stretched out at all. Not at all. And I'm not saying Ellie's wool isn't any good or whatever. All I'm saying was the difference between that sock and this sock is that Helen's sock got the 5x1 rib on it, and Ellie's didn't. I got lazy and decided I'm not doing that. And I probably shouldn't have, but I did. So there you go. But this is gorgeous, and this wool is so warm on my feet. I love this wool, and it's so Halloweeny. Thank you, Helen. It's called Hell's Hollow, the wool. And here, I'll show you it in the ball that she rolled it up in. How cool is that? How pretty is that? Oh my god. I hope I have enough left for my miter score blanket and a little for my crochet blanket. That would be good. But if I don't, oh well, it's on my feet. And I have started Helen's. Started the second sock. So they're not going to match exactly because I mucked up the orange, but there you go. Anyway, yeah. And if anybody's wondering why that side has a little bit of green and that kind of started in the middle, it is not Helen's dyeing. It is the fact that I knit my socks on a different number of stitches than most people. Most people are like 32 stitches on each needle, and I am not. I am 30. So that's that. So the reason I am doing 5 rows on each sock, or 5 rounds on each sock a day, is because it kind of falls in line with what Helen was talking about in her podcast about pressures and things like that. And I don't want to pressure myself, and I don't want it to become a job to knit on socks that I love. So I'm just doing 5 rounds on each sock every day. And you know, it's not being funny, but 5 rounds a day when you only need 80 rows is going to make it go faster. You know, rather than sit down and, do, 40 rows and then the next day go, oh, we're going to work on those socks. You know, slow and steady wins the race. So yeah, so I got that done. And then the next knitting thing is a new cast on. It's a kind of, it's not all herringbone, but it is herringbone stitch on here. This is a free pattern, and it's been printed out in black and white, sorry, but to be honest with you, it's a Purl Soho pattern, and it's free, so they're all good. It is called the Jasmine Scarf, and I'm trying to think what we got. I'll try to find it and link it, but it's the Jasmine Scarf, Jasmine. And I just started this because this was sitting on the bed. I dyed this and I wasn't ever going to sell it because I didn't particularly think it was very good. And so it's like a gradient. I don't know which side to show. I'll show this side. It's a gradient that I dyed. Boston Jen had a tutorial on this. So here, if I do that, maybe it'll show up. There we go. Slowly back away. So you can see how it's darker blue in the middle. Then it goes to this like lime green on the outside, which is very bright, and it is that bright. Anyway, I really wanted to do this scarf for ages, and so I thought that's just sitting on the bed, and just to see if I like the pattern, I'll just do it in that. I am going to have to aggressively block this sweater. It's going to need to be pinned because the lower edge is stockinette, so there's no like knit every row, so it doesn't curl. It's stockinette, but I'll try to stretch it out enough because I'm not very far in to give you some idea of, this isn't going to work, of what the patternation looks like on it. So you can kind of see what it looks like. It'll be better after it's been washed and blocked. Also, I am using a fingering weight wool when I believe I'm supposed to be using DK. They did theirs in Pearl Soho yarn, and it was like an gray oatmeal color. So that, to be honest with you, that black and white print is not far off what theirs actually looks like. Plus they had some silk in theirs, and I'm not sure, although it looks very, very lovely. I'm not sure I would use a wool with some silk in it, basically because it doesn't give a lot. And because it's a free pattern, I feel comfortable telling you that you do a wrap twice on the purl side, and then you drop that wrap twice purl stitch, knit 4 stitches, and then have to go back and pick that up. So they think they're giving you enough lead, but I will say, if you're going to do the scarf and you're very tight tension when you knit, and I am kind of tight tension, I would suggest to you that you either use a cable needle to hold that stitch when you drop it, or you wrap 3 times. And I'm saying that because I have had to go and pick up stitches that basically, because my tension was so tight when I wrapped twice, that when I dropped the stitch off, it actually dropped the stitch down through the knitting, so I had to keep knitting it back up through to actually bring it back onto the other needle to knit it again. And that's how you get that knitting across bit. It's basically cabling. And it's not a true herringbone, which I really, really want to do. But that is a project for, that is a project for another time. Not right now. I will say in the pipeline, okay, so 1 minute. I went and looked in the bank and I did my totals for Christmas and how much we spent. And I spent a ginormous amount of money on Ian, but Ian deserved it. And so I'm not counting that bit. But I spent a lot on grandkids and children and things. And it's not that I don't want to, and it's not that I'm generous, but I want to do a lot of shit to my house this year, so that can't happen this coming December. So what I do have is a shed load of really expensive wool in my stash, and I thought, you know what I'm going to do this 1 year only is I'm going to knit hats and mittens for everybody. And then I thought maybe that's overambitious, and if I don't do it, then I'm going to feel like a failure and I haven't done it. So what I did was, I have sons who aren't married, and I have sons who have families. So what I did was I put the sons with families, and this is going to sound terrible, but I put the sons in with families into a hat and drew the first family out. And if I find that I'm only capable of getting them done for this year, then this year's the year that they get their things, and then next year I can do the next family or whatever. But I don't want to pressure myself. So that's happening. I've already spent the money. I've already got the wool in my stash. I have one exception, who is my son-in-law, Cody. And I don't have a daughter, but I have sort of an adopted daughter who was one of my son's exes, and we are very close. So her husband is a big Notre Dame fan, and I'm quite close to Cody as well. He's a darling guy. So I don't have the colors for Notre Dame, but I am going to buy the wool for Cody for that. So anyway, I hope they're not watching this. I hope she doesn't watch this. Anyway, yeah, so that's knitting for Christmas for next year. And yeah, it'll save money, but not save money, if you know what I mean. I've already spent it. So anyway, the next thing that I got done is some spinning. And before I show that, I'll show this. I did finish that color that I didn't really like with the rainbow. Come on, focus. There we go. That's all finished. It just needs to be chain plied now. Yeah, so I'm going to chain ply that. Not sure what I'm going to do with that wool yet. I'll probably put it into something. I don't know. And then there was in the next batch, which I have no idea where it is right now because my room has been torn apart for construction reasons. I'll show you in a minute. There was a little bit of brown. And so it's not a really good spin. You can see some thicker bits. But what I'm going to do here is I got to wind this off. And I'm going to wind it onto my my cake maker winder thing. And what I'm going to do is put a paper straw next to the center spindle. And then I'm going to pull it off. And then I'm going to chain ply this as practice for chain plying all of that other wool that I have to chain ply. So yeah. So it's just a dark brown. It was nothing fancy, so there you go. So those are done. I can start on that wool that I actually wanted to spin, but I think what I'm going to do is a little bit more of that. I'll bring it over. What I'm going to do is a little bit more of this silk and merino mix that I have on my wheel right now. So yeah, so I did talk about it and I didn't get the wheel down, but I don't know if you guys can see that or if that will focus. It says the woolly winder on it. You see that? Try to cover my face up so it'll focus on the woolly winder bit. Anyway, that is this. So this auto winds onto my bobbin, so I don't have to move this. There are gears, if you can see the gears up here. And it actually moves this up and down, and that is how I get such an even spin on my spindles. I bought that when I was in America. I think it was like $150, but that was worth every friggin' dime. I would have put up with all the crap at that school just to have that because that thing is amazing. And that guy is fab. He was great. So it's a good company to do business with. They're on Etsy. Please go give it a look and tell all your friends because it's really good. And it pretty much fits on every spinning wheel. I have a Sonata, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's a good spinning wheel. I'll never give her up. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Musical interlude. Never gonna run around and desert you. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, and you all know I can't sing. Hagrid's here. Hagrid's gonna get some wheels put on him. He's gonna have some wheels. But Hagrid is here. There's Hagrid. He's wearing my very shiny shirt that I made for December. But yeah. And he's sporting a scarf by Clover Tape Measure. But yeah, so he's been all sized up. I did my measurements and he's been sized up. I did do some sewing over Christmas other than... Oops, Hagrid, can you please just move yourself there? Sorry. I did do some sewing over Christmas. I did get the tree skirt done. But that's downstairs. I forgot to bring it up because I'm such a good podcaster. And, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, and I am now subscribed to a YouTube channel. It's Morgan Donner, and she is a costume person, but she does medieval. I don't think it's her full-time job. Maybe it is, but I don't think so. But she had a tutorial on how to make a medieval shift, and I took that flannel with the monsters on it. Don't know if I got any scraps here. But, and the shift's in my bedroom, because I've been sleeping in it. And made it out of flannel. A shift. Now, I didn't pay attention to the pattern. And so I put the gores in the side and I put the gores in the arm, and now it's like the size of a parachute. So next time I'm gonna actually follow her directions. She did say to take the measurements from the widest part of your body, but with the gores I didn't really need to do that. Actually, I could have just taken like the width of my shoulders like she did, and not worried about my fat rear end, because the gores added so much volume that it was good enough. Now, I can say that the way she took the measurements, like, you measure your wrist, but you really measure your wrist for here, so over your hand, so you can get your hand through the sleeve. And she also said to, when you measure your forearm, measure on your elbow, but then bend your elbow, and that's your measurement. You know, obviously I had to measure my bat wings, and the gore for the arm made all the difference in that. It, really nice. So yeah, so again, her name's Morgan Donner, and you know, give her a go. She's really good. She's she's got other tutorials, like medieval, oh, you do it with your fingers. It's like medieval, it's like, it's not rope, trim, and she shows you how to do that. That was really good too. I watched, that was the very first one I watched. It was amazing. And as soon as I saw that, I subscribed to her, because she's fab. Sorry, I still haven't oiled my chair, as I've said many times. Right, so, what's the next thing? I guess I will show you what's been done in here, and then I will take my leave. Oh, Ian's sweater is not finished. The arms got put in and everything, and then it got busy right before Christmas, and I didn't have a chance to do it. So our anniversary is at the end of this month, so I'm going to try to get that done for our anniversary. If not, it'll be done by his birthday. I don't know. It was really hard. The sewing machine did a really good job. I'm not even gonna lie. I sewed it with a sewing machine, and it did fab. It was amazing. I think it helped that I used my quilting clips on it, and, you know, got it all kind of like spread out. So I was stitching where I was supposed to be stitching, but it's great. I'm still in my mind debating whether I sew the side seams up with the sewing machine or if I do that by hand. But it'll probably be on the machine. It's just very bulky and was very hard to get through. It was very hard to start the process of stitching with that. So I thought after to myself, I thought, you know, I should have just put some parchment paper on and stitch through parchment, like, you know, tear away stuff. So I might try that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So the next thing I'm going to show you is just what happened in here, and then I will let you go, because it's been 32 minutes and 45 seconds, and that's like way too long for anybody. So what happened was I had that big bulky shelf. Ignore the holes in the wall. That's where my TV used to be screwed in, and I have to still fill that in. So yeah, so my TV is in the corner, and my computer stuff is all down here, and there's a cart coming from my computer to set it up on and stuff. And I'm not very good about tying up my wires, but I'm probably going to do that when that comes. Anyway, so that was very bulky. This whole area was, you know, crowded with that. Oh yeah, Kimberly, check it out. I tore that ugly carpet out. Well, Ian tore that ugly carpet out and started sanding it. So we're doing the woodworking, and we have to fix a couple boards, but yeah, ugly carpet's gone. So, but anyway, getting back to the point of this. So that big cupboard was in here, and I think I showed it to you guys the time before this. Anyway, so I ordered a drop leaf table, you know, a wall-mounted one, off Amazon. And we got it, and it had the longest, you know, hinge thingies that they made. So this is 20 some inches deep. It's like 24, maybe 2 feet, I think, deep, which is what I wanted because I needed it for quilting and things like that. But then we got it into the wall, and because of the material in the wall, which is basically plaster, and I don't know what else, but it's like this clay color dust that came out, this wouldn't hold my sewing machine. So Ian and I spoke, and I said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't, if you can, make a brace, and then attach a piece on the bottom of the table and one at the bottom, and then we can just lift it out, and it'll support the weight of my sewing machine, which is quite heavy. And so he did, and it works, and it's holding my sewing machine. My keyboard is going to be mounted on the wall, but not like mounted. I'm actually going to create a bag to just drop it into. And I'm only going to lift it out when I actually need it. So, my book. And yeah, so there you go. So none of that will be on. This will probably be my mouse and things will probably stay and just get shoved up to the front corner. And I obviously have to wash the pencil off the wall. But yeah. So that is that. So that is what got done in here. That's a craft from a couple years ago that I keep on all the time. There's my Funko Pop and my little witch. But yeah, they'll have different home because there's going to be a shelf put across here about 3 inches above my Halloween light fixture here. There'll be a shelf across here with that LED lighting that I have on this table underneath it, so it'll light up my work area much better. One more thing I'll show you on my... I don't think I have the rest of the sticker. No, I don't. Okay, so one thing I have on my sewing machine that I got for myself and then Ian gave it to me for Christmas is a Betty Bridge, which basically shows you all of the measurements on your sewing machine, but keeps it on the bridge of your machine so that you can be accurate with your sewing. It doesn't want to focus on that. I don't know, maybe it's the reflections. But yeah, so there we go. So all lined up and ready to go. It's just the 5/8 that throws me every time. So anyway, yeah. And that's my sewing machine. Blah, 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 blah. For people who are interested. This is not got like a ton of stitches, but it does monogramming and it does other stuff. So yeah. And you can combine these stitches to create patterns. It's pretty cool. Anyway, there you go. That's my sewing machine. Oh, if anybody on my side of the pond knows where I can get Gooderman's thread that I don't have to pay 10 pounds for 1,000 yards for, could you please put a comment below, because that's really expensive and I don't like to use anything but that or some Coats thread's good. But yeah, and I've been talking for 37 minutes, so I'm right back at 40, and I tried really hard to make this shorter. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get going. I will see you guys on Monday. I'm gonna go do my powder size while this renders. If you don't know what powder size is or editor size, go back 2 videos and you'll find out what that is. But yeah, a Happy New Year to everybody. Sorry, gotta have a drink. My throat is very dry. Happy New Year to all of you. Yeah, Happy New Year. Hang in there. And yeah, there you go. I'm gonna go because it's 10:01 and I've been doing this since 8 o'clock. It tells you how good and professional I am. Anyway, I will see you guys on Monday and then we will find out if I've lost or gained on Monday. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Stick to it. You can do it. Bye.